Greetings, my fellow freedom loving sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy Mangrove of South Florida, and today's date is Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. Even on this day, in 1743, Thomas Jefferson was born, third president of the United States as a constitutional republic. There's some great things. He has some of his faults he takes responsibility for. However, the man believed in ending slavery when he tried to write when he wrote the original Declaration of Independence, but based on some differences, it had to be altered. However, always kept that in his mind to end it. Things he knew things were going to happen overnight. Of course, a lot of people may call him a hypocrite, but in reality, he wasn't on this matter. There's no such thing as a magic lamp theory. Things happen with time. And even stuff is written doesn't mean it can be implemented fully, because you're always going to have corruption, tyranny, in all walks of life. The whole thing. That's why the people who are citizens have obligations to keep government in check and defy all illegal laws, nullification, rather on a personal or judicial matter. It's just, that is our heritage, and it has to be honored and preserved, with no exceptions. None of these Mickey Mouse political games, my team is better than yours, and all that. It's just a prime example on what he was about. And I don't even use the term liberals to the tyrants. As I know they are. Tyrants, oppressors, demoniacs. Liberals is an open-minded person who wants to change the society and all that, social changes, on a more natural right level. And, of course, Thomas Jefferson was considered a classic liberal for his time. And the founding fathers, when he wrote the Declaration of Independence, seceding from Great Britain, they're considered liberals as well. So that's why I don't really use those terms. It's been watered down extremely, to the extreme. But it's very cool, and I'll recommend everyone start learning about these individuals like Thomas Jefferson and many others. Hey, King George despised him with a passion, so he has to be good. And I had a good union brother of mine passed, Jose Pepe Q. Died a few days ago. May his soul be forever free. He was an awesome man, brother, friend, loves his family dearly. And it's very interesting, too, because he survived the Cuban Revolution and he left, come to Miami. And he told me a lot of great history, man. So it's like very cool story of his life. One day, someone was late for the job, and he's trying to spy a tire, and he said, "Hey, anyone have a tire for a Honda Civic?" He went, "I don't drive Japanese vehicles. I drive American." Bro, having lunch too was awesome. But may his soul be forever free, and condolences to his family within his clan, external. Oh, I can say the eternal with everyone else. Extended families, union brothers, and all that. May his soul be forever free, man. He was a courageous person, so I always enjoyed working with him. Always been a pleasure. Gave me great stories of his life. And that's how it should be. Even through going through the crazy times, folks. Always want to cherish things, and keep us all sane. Always love your family and your neighbors. Be neighborly the best you can, because I know what, I'll be honest, you do a lot. A lot of great benefits from that. Not on a personal gain, but, as a community. And I don't mean collectivism or anything like that. It's just love your neighbors, you love yourself. So that'll be it in those areas. So I'm going to be actually talking about, this came from the Florida Bulldog. .org came out today. And it's in reference to cops as victims. And it was written by Dan Christensen on FloridaBulldog.org. It's entitled Cops as Victims. Court ruling means an officer like Derek Chauvin would be anonymous in Florida. As it reads here, Noreen Marcus wrote this. Imagine a white police officer named Derek Chauvin killing a black civilian named George Floyd somewhere in Florida, but without witnesses or a video. Chauvin tells his sergeant he had to kneel on Floyd's neck because the man looked scary and maybe he had a weapon. The police department treats Chauvin like the victim and keeps his name secret. End of story. Behind closed doors, Internal Affairs review Chauvin's role in Floyd's death. The state attorney doesn't file charges. Chauvin's holster his pistol and slips back into his job. Record of the incident and aftermath can't be found without a name. Chauvin is Exhibit A. Floyd's family is left wondering what happened. There is no public outrage, no Black Lives Matter protest, or murder trial. No murder trial. None of that is unimaginable in the wake of a new ruling from Tallahassee Appellate Court. Last week, First District Court of Appeal decided that a 2018 victims' privacy law applies to police officers. If the Florida Supreme Court reviews the opinion and agrees an expanded version of Marcy's law will prevail statewide, then trial court judges will know exactly what to do when the media companies sue for the police names under public records law, rule against the media, and for law enforcement victims. The implications are deeply concerning to press freedom watchdogs and media-friendly lawyers. Derek Chauvin is Exhibit A, said Frank Lomont. He's the director of the Breacher Center for Freedom of Information at the University of Florida, which signed onto a brief in the first DCA case for Police Benevolent Association, John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 versus the city of Tallahassee. The reason that we know Chauvin has 18 prior complaints on his record, none of which resulted in losing his job, is because his name was public record, Lamont said. If we don't know the names of the officers, then we don't know whether the shooting or other deadly force was a one-time aberration or part of a pattern of behavior. It is a bad precedent. Police have frightening encounters, but you need to expect there's going to be public scrutiny of your actions. It's just a choice that police officers have always been asked to make. Media lawyer Tom Jolin said. Disclosure, Jolin represents Florida Bulldog. The concern and the fear is that this decision will be used broadly to allow law enforcement officers who are involved in controversies to stay out of the public limelight, he said. Former first DCA Judge Philip Padovano, who represented Tallahassee in the appeal and lost, criticized the ruling for lopsided reasoning. I think it's a disappointing decision. It's a bad precedent for the rights of citizens, the rights of the press, he said. On the one hand, you have Marcy's law, but you also have a very strong provisions about public disclosure of the government's business. Marcy's law didn't trump these things. I hope that they would have tried to balance these competing interests, but it was all one side, the police department, he said, of the court where he served for 19 years before retiring in 2015 and joining a law firm. Marcy's law for Florida. The victim's privacy law honors Marcy, and Nicholas, a student at the University of California, Santa Barbara, who in 1983 was stalked and finally shot by her ex-boyfriend, when he was out of bail. He found he found and terrorized Nicholas's mother in a grocery store after the funeral for her 21-year-old daughter. He was convicted of second-degree murder. Nicholas's brother, Henry Nicholas, a tech mogul, worked for many years to put a crime victims' Bill of Rights amendment on the California ballot. It passed in 2008. Then Nicholas spent more than $100 million to advocate for similar amendments in other states. To date, he had dozens success with a bill campaign, Marsy's Law for All. In Florida, 61% of the voters approved adding provision to the state constitution in 2018. The theory behind the privacy part is that if victims and their families aren't identified, they can't be targeted for harassment. A supporter, State Senator Lauren Book, Dade County, a Democrat from Plantation, underlined the law's mission. The goal was to protect victims of crime, period, the end. She told USA Today and ProPublica for a story they've published in October. But as the story documents, police departments throughout Florida have co-opted victim privacy protection for themselves. Police union sues Tallahassee. At least half of Florida's 30 largest police agencies, including Miami and Broward County, apply Marsy's Law to withhold officers' names, and the media investigation found. Officers sustained no injuries in at least half of the instances for which they claim victims' rights records show. The story says even minor movements that officers perceive as threatening, such as walking aggressively or reaching into a pocket, qualified as battery on officers, triggering the law's protection according to the agencies. Matt Puckett, executive director of the Florida Police Benevolent Association, the statewide police union, recognized the need to set limits. It is not hard to see a circumstance where would you go. Okay, that probably seems like not a fair use of the law. The story quotes him as saying, last May, a Tallahassee police officer fatally shot Tony McDade, a black transgender man who allegedly pointed a gun at an officer while he was responding to a reported knife attack. This third police-involved shooting in 3 months ignited protesters in the street when the city seemed poised to release the names of the police and the McDade shooting, and one other, the police union went to court. The PBA asked Leon Circuit Judge Charles Dodson to issue this declaration. Marsy's Law protects officers from exposure to the harassment that publicizing their names or any other identifying information might incite. Trial courts rule against union, but Dodson ruled against the union. This court cannot interpret Marsy's Law to shield police officers from public scrutiny of their official actions, he wrote. On the appeal, the first DCA reversed Dodson's order directing the city to disclose the names. The court also reversed his judgment that Marsy's Law doesn't cover law enforcement. Although the law makes no explicit reference to police, hold on here. Oh, shoot. One moment. I gotta take care of something here. I'll be right back. One moment. Alright, sorry about that, folks. I got it taken care of here. Looks like something changed on me like an illusion. I'll go back from that paragraph. On appeal, the first DCA reversed Dodson's order directing the city to disclose the names. The court also reversed his judgment that Marsy's Law doesn't even cover law enforcement. However, the public policy considerations may be in favoring broad public records disclosure and the ability of the public to access records of the machinery of government. It is not the province of the judiciary to read into the language of the constitutional text anything not included or to limit the text in a matter not supported by its plain language. Rowe wrote, Judges Timothy Osterhaus and Robert Long agreed. That opinion reads like a lesson in Textualism, a conservative approach favored by most current Supreme Court justices. Textualism elevates the letter of the law over any nuisances legislators express around time they pass. They pass it. Handicapping appeal. Apparently, the judge didn't care that legislator like Book intended that crime victims, and only crime victims, should benefit from Marcy's law. The Florida Supreme Court may or may not review the first DCA's opinion if asked to do so. The acting part is up to Tallahassee city officials, Padovano noted, and the decision is pending. One moment here. Shoot. Oh, okay, cool. I'm almost done here. Okay. The Florida Supreme Court may or may not review the first DCA's opinion. If asked to do so, asking part is up to the Tallahassee city officials, Padovano noted, and the decision is pending. I strongly recommend it, he said, is not just one-off thing that affects two parties. If it affects the cities and towns all over Florida. On the media side, there's concern that the right-leaning state Supreme Court will take up in the case. It can approve the first DCA's ruling for the entire state, but Lomonte of the Brencher Center said he isn't sure the justices will do that. If you look at decades of Florida Supreme Court precedent, the court has always said, when in doubt, agencies should disclose information, he said. That's the default position under Florida law, and it has been no matter what the composition of the Supreme Court is. And to be very frank, because here's the thing, my friends, the police, technically the police, legally, the police are under governmental delegates. So they are considered public access records guaranteed under Article 1, Section 24A of the Florida Constitution. If I'm correct, I could be mistaken here. I could be hopefully I'm correct. It's Chapter 112 of the Florida statutes entitled the Sunshine Law. I'm just Public Records Law, Sunshine Law. But Article 1, Section 24A guarantees that. All right, so those are areas you have to really look for. And the truth of the matter is, especially if they're on duty, so it's like, they can't just do that. There's no such thing as exceptionalism. So you always got to look at these Marcy laws and all that, and the victims' rights. I know it was started in California, and he advocated a lobby around other states. You got to be aware of these lobbying firms, too. And I say that in good faith. And we got to remember, that's what we call sovereign states, to be very honest. But everything can be a double-edged sword. So that's why you always got to look at these things thoroughly. And to be very honest, I wasn't really too keen with that amendment. It could have been written a little bit better. But people voted for it, and look what can happen too. So you always got to vote smart and examine things thoroughly the best you can. And if you go to like the Florida's Secretary of State's website, when it comes to election time, if there's any constitutional amendments or anything, you go look at the ballots, the summarized version, and they give you the clarification of what area is going to be affected by it on a constitutional amendment. So that's good to know too, because I've done that in 2018, and you want to vote intelligently at the best of your ability. Hey, I'm saying as a human being, there's things I have my errors of judgment too, but always want to better yourself when you do these votes instead of the hype or the hoopla. What the TV said so, these promos, ignore that, read it thoroughly. If you have to verify on legal dictionaries, there's plenty of information on that. And Black's Law Dictionary is very good. The legal dictionary.org it's called. That's a great site to check out too, to get more clarification on the terms and so forth, so you won't get confused. And it's trust me, it's good to know. And what's great about that as well, about the whole Secretary of State's websites, okay, is it around the country. But I'm talking about Florida, for an example. They have sample ballots in your precinct area, and you could look at the ballots, and you could do a little like a scorecard study and fill it out, and take that with you, print up, take that with you, and you can make your vote right there. Bam, 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 and do it in like under 5-10 minutes, man. You're in out the door. So it's pretty cool. But this is why I do have to give the attorneys trying to challenge this. It's very good because we can't have special priorities, special privileges for anyone. I know the police have their jobs. They got, you always got your corruption, but it's like everywhere you go. I'm not going to crucify everybody unless the sheriff or the police chief is too obvious. That does happen. And be vigilant, folks. And I say, keep them on tabs. And I recommend everyone keep track of it. And I'll try to update this the best I can. And if I get anything, I'll let you guys know. All right? All right. And that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or anything interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence from Decorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnote of this article on my speaker page. And if you want to contact me, you can email me at LookYouLuckNumbers03@protonmail.com. If you want to donate, you can hit me at paypal.me or cash.app/LookYouLuckNumber3. If you want to give some contributions, any contributions to FloridaBulldog.org, that would be fantastic. They're good people. A lot of great information on there. They focus on the state and local level, even 9/11 stuff too. So, I encourage people to check out their website. And if you could tell them if you want to support them financially, that would be greatly appreciated. Because the whole thing is, folks, we want to put out the truth and present accurate information the best we can. They do their part, I do mine, and you can do yours. All right? Once again, thank you for your time. But always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.